So, welcome to Stockholm's International Film Festival. Today, we have the pleasure of introducing you to one of the absolutely best directors this year. And his name is Kamen Kalev, and he is from Bulgaria. And he has, if I should start to talk about your experience as a director, this is your fourth feature film. But you have a long history of making all kinds of short films, very well renowned, and also commercials. But this movie is the latest in your, I hope, a string of beautiful movies. Mm-hmm. And I have some questions for you. And first of all, when I sit down and start watching this movie, you open a door and everything is just so calm and peaceful. And it's like open up a door to a sanctity. And then slowly you get introduced to the environment and this little person. And in the movie, we're going to meet the person from the age of 8 to 82. And it's a 3-part movie. The film, I read somewhere that you have, you wanted to go back to your own roots. So can we start with just letting us know what enticed you to do this movie?
It's a combination from many things. I'm not sure I'll be able to clearly understand how it works. From one part, it's my own path and all the experience I have with the previous films, the need I develop to defend certain kind of cinema language that I want to elaborate better, and of course to find my my themes, you know, the subjects that I usually consciously or subconsciously want to talk about. And from one hand, I wanted to go back to a very artisanal way of making a movie, which is closer to my first feature film, where we were very few people, a very small crew. So this was very important to me to go back to this way of shooting a film, to have more time, to have more peace on the set, and be able to work emotionally, you know, which is not really possible, or for me at least, when it's a bigger set with a lot of trucks and people running, and more difficult to motivate a change. When you want to change something to follow your heart, it's much difficult with a bigger structure. So this was very important to me. And then there was this subject that came out in a very natural way. It was a story that I knew from my childhood and my relationship with my grandfather. Actually, the third part came out first. This story that he wanted to go to and join his sister and bring her back to the village where they come from, and to end their life together, to help each other and spend the last days of their life. This was a true story. This a true element of his life. And then I was thinking to do a short film, and then the second story came, which is also coming from his life. A very simple thing that I kept in my memory and always striking me as a way of relating to his family, to nature and everything. The fact that he met his wife, they did the marriage, and the next day he went to the army, and they had this separation at the edge of the village, and he came back 3 years later. That was the duty. It was 3 years, and no signs of, there were no phone calls, no letters. He came back 3 years later, and this was incredible for me, as a person who grew up in the city, and yeah, we spent a lot of time during the summer vacation there, but still it was very, very striking for me as a way of living and seeing the world and reacting to it.
Because this person, I mean, the whole thing, the person, Peter, and his family, his father, I mean, he's very intriguing, as you say. You come up with the ending part, and then you suddenly you have the middle part,
Yes.
and then the first part. So
Yes.
the prehistory of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he is also a movie. He's acting in a movie where, as the first time I watched a movie, was like, what, everything that he was doing was, now is something is going to happen. Now he's going to fall down, or he's going to be, and then I thought, there's an Italian movie, Padre Padrone. It was probably made at the time when you were born. And that also is about a little shepherd boy. And that one was more or less a story about somebody that went from that to a success story. But this success, I mean, it comes somewhere in the middle, where I suddenly hear this voiceover. And I wonder, is the voiceover Peter's in his mind? Is that what it is? Or is it somebody that, as well as I am, just, watching him, that suddenly comes to the conclusion, which is wonderful, that this person has never taken anything honest person. It doesn't, even if the military wants him to progress, it's something that he's really skeptical. And then suddenly I saw the beauty in the whole thing, which was just wonderful. And my question to you then is, did you see, I mean, you wrote a script to this. Did you see this development? What is it? Because I'm more developed through the movie than I guess Peter is. But did you see him progress somehow, other than the age and the difference in the seasons and the landscape?
Yeah. When I start writing, and of course afterwards, when I started to imagine how it's going to be and what is the core of the film, at the beginning was more the path, the destiny, that we are with an illusion that we can choose our life. Actually, it's we repeat what we have seen and what we have been surrounded. And and for me, the first part, the boy is just a boy. He's still in the cows. He doesn't want to do what his grandfather says it has to be done. But progressively, I mean, we don't see the progression, but we see the next moment where he's an adult already, even though a young adult. It's the moment that he realizes that there is no turning back, that he knows what he has to do. And this is the point for me of that realization, even though it's me projecting me there. This is a portrait that it's not a anthropological or a biographical portrait. It's my idea of this kind of people, these rural people that are very much connected to their ancestors and the land, and this simple way of approaching reality. They're not analyzing, they're not, I mean, that's my idea of them, of course. And this is what inspired me later on when I read this text of Camus from Summer, where he depicted it in a very simple way. He said what the voiceover says later, and of course for me it's not the voiceover of the character, it's the voiceover of the viewer, of the author, of the commenter of this life, that these rural people, they have the difference from the civilized mind, that they're always they're approaching the reality as a river. What it comes, that's what they live. They doesn't hope for another life. This is the big difference. Where in the civilized way of seeing world and reality, we always say, I say to myself, okay, I'll wait for the next level. Once this period is over, it will be better. I hope this will happen, so I will feel better. We're always in a search for another stage, another life, and we're not in the presence. And that was something that helped me a lot during making the whole movie, and luckily I started from the first part, and then we shot the second part, and I knew how to work for the last part. For the first time, I'm shooting a movie in different stages, not in one piece of chunk of time. So we were able to think, to see the images, to start editing. I was editing the film, so I had more or less the two parts connected. When we start shooting the third part, it was incredibly helpful for me.
Yeah, it really, I mean, even if it's three parts, and as I said, probably there's no really advancement. I mean, you adjust to the nature, you adjust to whatever you're supposed to do, but the change happen in the viewer, and that's where, you know, the poetry that's read in the military, and his observation of the birds, and also the voiceover that comes, and it hits you. I mean, that's really something as a viewer, because it's filmed so beautifully. I mean, you have the whole landscape. It's a camera that stands fixed on the landscape, and the little people sometimes see like a little speck somewhere in the landscape. You hardly see the person, but that also makes me enter the world of this, and it's so wonderful, because it's like if you go to a gallery and you watch a painting, and you can sit and look for it for hour, and it doesn't happen too much, but still the whole content gives you come out as a different type of person. And yeah,
it was very important for me that we leave that space for the viewer, that we're not afraid that probably we will feel boredom, you know, especially in the beginning or even afterwards. If we disconnect, it's not a problem. once we go back to the film, we will find something. It's like the film will find you, not the other way around. You know that we have to prepare everything, that the viewer has no choices. He has to go through a certain path. Here it's, and that's the cinema that I like as well, when there are plenty of possibilities for me, and I watch and I wonder and I see this. For me, it's more authentic. It's more close to reality. That there is not one interpretation. There are a lot of mixture of feelings that sometimes contradict each other, but I'm involved and I work with this image and sound.
Yeah, yeah, well, it's marvelous. Anyhow, I have a question though. February. Why did you choose that title?
Again, it came out very organically to me. Because I started with the last part, as I said, and I imagine it during the winter, and it will, and February, it's more or less the end of something, the end of the cycle. It's the end of the winter, and it's also my grandfather died in February, so it was. But again, I chose it emotionally. I wasn't thinking, let's find a good title for this film. It was the other way around. You know, everything clicked together, and it was very genuine for me to see it as February.
Well, it's a wonderful movie, and I wish you the best, because I guess you are going to take this to several different film festivals, and good luck with it all, because this is something that I felt so much in love with, and a wonderful job.
Thank you.
So I would like to thank you so much, and good luck, and I hope to see a lot more from you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.